So this is the Sandstone Peak Trail, the highest point in the Santa Monica Mountains. Sandstone Peak is a 3.3 mile out and back hike to the summit of Mount Allen, which rises 3,111 feet above sea level and is the highest point in the Santa Monica Mountains. The drive starts on PCH before you turn onto Yerba Buena Road where the trailhead is located. The drive is very scenic, but the road can be narrow at some points. The hike is best done in late winter or early spring when the temperatures are cooler, but I'd recommend going on a cloudy day whenever you decide to hike. There is a fairly large amount of parking near the trailhead. So this is the map and information for the Sandstone Peak Trail. The trail rises 3,111 feet above sea level and is considered one of the classic hikes in Southern California. It's the highest point in the Santa Monica Mountains and is in the Santa Monica Mountains National Recreation Area. It's located near Circle X Ranch, and this is the official map of the trail. I decided not to take the longer Mishimaqua Trail and just to go straight up to Sandstone Peak, but this can be very difficult in some areas because it is basically just straight up. This trail did take less time to complete though, and still has many awesome views and photo opportunities along the sides. The first section is basically just straight up, and there are little to no trees surrounding the trail, but there are some plants and bushes. So this is the start of the Sandstone Peak Trail. Here you get a nice view of mountains and you can even see the ocean in the distance. Make sure to come on a clear day because you'll get awesome 360-degree views from the peak and from even some other parts of the trail. So even just after starting, there are already some really nice photo opportunities here. And this trail will definitely have a lot of photo opportunities. I did come here in January 2022, right after Southern California had gotten quite a bit of rain, so the area was nice and green, which was cool to see. A lot of the plants around here are still recovering from the large Woolsey fire that came through here in November of 2018, but it's great to see some of them recovering and turning green again from the rain. So here you turn left for Sandstone Peak, which is in 1.1 miles. You can only see a small strip of the ocean as you're coming up the first part of the trail, but as you get to the peak, you'll be able to see Catalina Island and a few other Channel Islands in the distance. In some places, you can also see the road winding through the mountains, which makes for another great type of photo opportunity. Like I said, I only came here after the first major rainstorm of the season in Southern California, so I'd expect in the future this will become even more green as the plants continue to recover from the fire that was about 3 years ago. As you're coming up to the peak, there are a couple of places you can turn just to get a nice viewpoint and see some cool rock formations below. So this is about halfway to Sandstone Peak. You already get awesome panoramic views here and great photo opportunities here in this. You're looking in this direction towards Thousand Oaks, and you can see that you get a nice view of the mountains here, and then in the other direction you can see all the way to the ocean and even some of the Channel Islands. I did notice that this trail is pretty heavily trafficked on the weekends, and according to all trails, it's heavily trafficked most of the week, so be aware of that. So from a lot of points on this trail, you can see the Channel Islands in the distance on a fairly clear day. Like right ahead there, you can see a Channel Island. As you get closer to reaching the peak, the trail starts passing through some shrubs and larger plants. So here in the distance you can see Westlake. As you're hiking up to the peak, you'll be able to get a good view of the Thousand Oaks and Camarillo area, and if you're here on a clear enough day, you can even almost see the San Gabriel Mountains in the distance. The hike up to the peak area is sort of strenuous, but it could be considered easier than actually climbing over the rocks that you need to get to the peak. So right here you turn and go over some loose rocks up these wooden stairs to the peak. So I didn't step on the wooden stairs actually when I was going up to the peak because they're pretty unstable and I wouldn't recommend it. You should just go around them and climb on the flat rock. The trail basically ends after that wooden staircase, but you can continue climbing the rock, which is pretty stable, to the summit of Mount Allen. In some places you might need to use both hands to bring yourself up the rock, but none of the areas have loose rock and it is definitely stable and safe. After reaching the peak, there's a large flat area as well as a rock with a plaque, and it's definitely an amazing 360-degree view that isn't able to be compared to anything else nearby. You can see in almost every direction to the Pacific Ocean and straight out to the Channel Islands on a clear day. You can see the Oxnard Plain as well as the city of Oxnard. You can see the Oxnard Coast, Camarillo, Thousand Oaks, and even the San Gabriel Mountains in the distance, as I said, on a clear day. The peak's also a great place to stop and take a break, maybe have a snack or get some water after finishing your hike because you can sit there and take in the views. Sandstone Peak also has some of the best panoramic photo opportunities you can find anywhere in Ventura County, not just on hikes. This is 3,111 feet above sea level. There's also a plaque marking the summit of Mount Allen at 3,111 feet, which was made in honor of W. Herbert Allen in 1965. Although the summit of Mount Allen is definitely the main attraction here, there are also some other small peaks around it that have nice views of the ocean. After finishing the Sandstone Peak hike, you want to turn right to get back to the parking lots. So when you're doing this hike, there are a lot of loose rocks and gravel on the trail in most of the areas, so it can be kind of slippery going down, so be careful and wear hiking shoes. So this hike is definitely one of the best in Southern California in my opinion. It offers amazing views and photo opportunities, and I'd recommend it to anyone in the area. So that's it for today's hiking video. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed.